You forgot. But listen, I know you forget things because you're retarded. All right. And you're really a good actress, but you got to. That was stupid. All right. So look. So right now I am recording the official announcement to my father of my Nobel Peace Laureate Award. Wait, hold on. Let's see if we can see him. Do you want us to be seen on camera, Dad?
Can we see him? There he is. I see him.
I don't want
There you are.
You don't want. Okay. Well, we don't have to. I'll just turn it off in a minute. Okay. Anyway. All right. So right now, today, on the day that I'm explaining this to you, I have not explained this to you before, right? Well, here, sit down for a second because I do want to explain this to you in a serious manner so that we can all know that this was done, not to
sitting there.
Call people retards.
Is there another chair?
All right. I'm going to do this professional like how I was at the doctor's office. At the doctor's office, I was professional at the end. I'll be professional at the beginning this time so we can have fun at the end, okay?
Hi.
Hi. My name is Robin Oyster. These are my parents, the Oysters. A pearl is made of a piece of sand that the oyster holds on to until it becomes a pearl.
It's agitated.
Yes.
The sand agitates.
So it's basically the metaphor that God has given us in life with oysters is an oyster is so powerful that it can take a tiny little piece of sand and turn it into something beautiful. It can continue doing that for, I don't even know how, for definitely its lifespan, but I think oysters are one of those mollusks that we have not been able to age, if I remember correctly. So indefinitely, as far as we're concerned, an oyster is able to do that. As an oyster, and as the daughter of one of the greatest men that I've ever known, or the greatest, well, no, yeah, you and Ryan are kind of, I don't know, there's a bunch of you guys that are awesome, but my way of honoring and respecting my father is to add your name into this by saying it's the oyster thing, because at one point I had called myself the alchemist in my head while I was coming up with this whole thing. So I'm still going to play whatever game, but I just want you to know that if and when I win a Nobel Peace Prize for this, it is all dedicated to you. And that's what, anyway, but it's also combining all of us as a family, because that was something that really tore me apart, losing my children and my life and everything all at once. And since I hate Dakota's last name because it sucks, because it's literally a dick. Sorry, that was inappropriate, but I am going to ask him to combine our last names, so we'll be Oyster. So then, once again, I've kind of evolved and taken the next step in our process as a family and made it my own, but ours. And I always think of Oyster, I think of Dad. It's your Oyster, you know, all that stuff. So
it was on the license plate.
Yeah, it was on license plate and every fucking thing. So I've also figured out how to celebrate what God said to me without necessarily doing all the YouTube videos and stuff, but I'm going to continue doing that and putting it out there in the universe because there's no harm in it. And because I have a good message to send to everybody, and because I am technically the Antichrist, which you and I understand on a different level, which is, you know, sardonic if you don't get it. If you do get it, you know, you're welcome. So, let me show you what my plan is. A car arrives, someone knocks on the door. I say hello. They say, hey, I have to get to work and I don't have anyone else to watch my kids. Can you please watch them for me? I trust you because I saw your credentials. I have watched your videos online, blah, 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 and I trust you. And I'm like, okay, awesome, cool. I'm going to get high on your kid today. Is that cool? Because I want to make sure that they understand that this is actually completely selfish. I really just don't want to use drugs anymore. They're too expensive and they're annoying. So as long as I can get high on somebody else's kid and make them my free slave labor, of course I'm going to do it. So really, this is altruistic by nature. You don't have to pay attention to that part.
You might have to do a redo.
But the camera's still
I
rolling.
know it. So, do you guys remember when we used to do puppet shows?
I still have the puppet show.
You have some recorded? Because I was always the announcer, and I was like, all right, guys, and this is what's going on. And this is my dad's favorite version of me is my 8-year-old self, so I always go back to that, and I keep trying to mitigate all these things.
Do you want the puppet show thing?
Well, I can already tell you what happens, okay? Because I sit here and I narrate, and I'm watching it as they're doing it, and so I would come down here and I'd be like, oh, guys, like, this is really exciting. We're about to start. And I would keep going back and forth and like, okay, and we're ready now, and da-da-da-da-da, and showtime. And then they would be like fucking it up, and I'd be back here with you guys, and I'd be like, they are really fucking this up, guys. I remember, like, I'd be whispering to you. Do you remember that? If you don't, it's okay. I didn't say fucking it up, but yeah, but I think one time I did say a bad word, and you were like, I'm not supposed to say that word, and I was like, oh shit, yeah, that's right. And you were like, Robin, and I was like, okay. And then I just kept watching it with you guys, and then coming back and like redirecting them into like what I felt like they should be doing, because they kept fucking it all up, because all my brothers and sisters are so stupid. Sorry guys, I love you. Ignore that. And that was actually part of why this came to mind. If I become a Nobel Peace Prize winner, I live on forever. Just like Mark Twain, who's not a Peace Prize laureate, but you know, he started the foundation of what I believe I am about to land on. It's such a big concept, that's why it's hard for me to say. Basically, I have created a new country, a new world order in addition to that. And when I told you guys from Great Britain my plan, they were so jealous that they literally just looked at me and they were like, oh, well, aren't you smart then? Y'all don't even fucking understand. You don't.
We don't know that.
That was literally like the biggest insult a British person could ever say to somebody. Because it's like, well, shut the fuck up. I don't want to hear from you anymore. Kind of. Anyway, but it was also a compliment, but also not. But I think that they were jealous that an American figured it out. But plus, I'm way cuter and falls in love with me. So as long as I get this done before the other guy would figure out, no, I've already done too much. Anyway, plus I'm way cuter. So if he did YouTube, he wouldn't even. So here's what's going to happen. Once the parent leaves, I'm going to look at the kid and I'm going to say exactly what I said to Craig a year ago when I started this whole concept. I said, all right, I can't afford to take you to Disney World, and we only got a day anyway. What the fuck do you want to do? Now, Craig, he was like, I mean, anything I fucking want? That was his response. This kid is probably going to be like, did that parent just cuss at me? And I'm going to say, by the way, I mean anything you fucking want on this property. No idea is too big. No idea is too small. Let's do it. And let's have a great fucking time. But you're going to have to deal with the fact that I got a real foul mouth and I don't give a flying fuck about what anybody thinks. I think we're having fun. And then they're going to start being like, okay, because they feel like it's naughty because they know that that's a bad word. They also, and I probably won't say fuck in front of a kid because I can't. Usually it's shit. And Craig will be like, no shit. And I'll be like, no shit. And he's like, no, really? No shit? I'll be like, all right, come on, Craig. Let's just like, keep going. Because that's what kids do. They get caught in that little, like, we're doing something bad. And then I'm like, okay, well, now we're stuck. Let's go actually do something while we're talking about it. So I've set up different stations around the yard. My first is fire! Because that is the basis of human interaction with God that made God think, these little fuckers are cute. Look at them. They created, look at that shit. Well, let's just do what else they do. And then we kept growing and growing and growing.
Fire?
Fire was what started us as the cute little fucks that burned shit down. Because dinosaurs didn't make it. They literally quacked like ducks. They finally, Jurassic Park did it all those years ago, and scientists have finally figured out what the sound would make by like being like, oh, like, yeah, we should recreate that because they had like 3D imaging now. And so they made it do it, and they go, wah. So those huge fucking T-Rexes, which were real, they were just running around quacking at each other. Or like making bird sounds. It was the quietest planet ever.
Were they quacking jokes?
Yes, they were. Yes. No, they weren't. They were eating each other, and it was bloody and amazing. That would be amazing. They'd be like, wah.
That's like.
But they would be quiet.
That's like what kings.
Oh shit, we're going back to the prehistoric era. That's what. Oh yeah, with the Mary chop off your. That's why I'm like, why are people telling me I need to go to the hospital just because I'm depressed? I'm like, back in the day, I could have just stabbed you because I didn't like the fact that your face is in mine, and I'd be like, eh, fuck it, let's just keep rocking. Do you ever think about that?
No.
Are you serious?
No.
Okay, guys, we're gonna have to do a sidebar over here. I mean, sorry, hold on a second. Like, no, this is fine. This is normal. So listen, guys. I know exactly what the fuck is gonna happen a little bit later today because I've seen it, and I have all the premonitions and all that bullshit. But I also believe that anything is possible. So I think that I may have just figured out a way for the apocalypse to be held off indefinitely and the 5,000 years of peace to start right the fuck now. So if you're watching this right now, first of all, I'd already figured that out before this started, and I'm going to continue trying to do that. But I just need everybody to believe enough and keep kind of rolling with my crazy train and see if we get there. And then when we never get there, we'll realize that we made it. Okay? So.
Hey, I got to go to the bathroom.
Well, shit.
I mean, yeah.
Get it?
I'm being one of your.
Well,
retards.
shit.
I got to go potty.
Okay. You go do that.
Okay.
I love you. Hey, look, there's an L on my shirt and there's an L on my truck.
Oh,
If Dakota gets out of jail, he can fix the truck.
Yeah, I know. He's hopefully going to get out soon. I don't know. We'll see. All right, so now that the old dude's gone, let's talk about this shit. All right.
I need to find my planners.
I'm going to tell you a true story right now, okay? When that really tall black dude AK lived here, do you remember him?